I'm Richard Taylor, and I'm paid by my society to essentially be a journalist and parliamentary researcher to work on the voting descriptions which we publish on TheyWorkForYou.
So where do TheyWorkForYou statements on how MPs have voted come from, Richard?
Well, they come from MPs' votes in Parliament. So MPs have voted about 1,200 or so times since the last general election in 2010. And what we do is we've described all of those votes in plain English and collected them together. So we've collected together all the votes on particular subjects. So on the European Union, for example, we've collected together all the 100 or so votes which have been on that, and on something like the smoking ban, and we've collected together the 3 or 4 votes that have been on that since the last election. And we look at how MPs have voted on each vote in a particular subject, and we assign them a score. And then depending on what that score is, we then try and come up with a really short, easy to understand sentence, such as your MP voted strongly for greater integration with the European Union, or your MP voted strongly against a smoking ban. So we try and cut through a lot of the complexity and just write some simple sentences on what MPs' voting patterns have been.
So how do you keep them impartial?
Well, keeping things impartial is really crucial for us at my society. One reason is we're a charity and we have to be impartial and non-partisan, and we're just really keen ourselves to ensure that everything we do is accurate and well referenced. So one thing we've had to do is just to select the subjects which we are reporting on TheyWorkForYou. We have to do that in a systematic manner. So the way we chose to do that was to look at how many MPs are turning up themselves to a vote. So we've got 650 MPs, but very rarely do we have anything like that number turning up for a vote in Parliament. So we ordered the votes by turnout. And what we've done is we've focused first on those votes which have the greatest turnout of MPs, so those things which MPs themselves are most interested in. So that's how we've selected the topics to cover. And then the rest of what we do really is it's a systematic approach, and it's something that has a little bit of sort of journalism and research to work out in plain English what's going on with each vote, and then programmatically we calculate the scores for each MP's agreement with each statement that we make.
So, ahead of the 2015 general elections, are you hoping other organisations will use this analysis?
Well, hopefully. We release all the work that we've done describing the votes and associating them into policies under an open licence, so anyone can, as long as they give an attribution and say where they got the information from, they can use it. So it would be really great to see this being used to do things like perhaps canvass candidates on how they would have voted if they were in Parliament over the last few years, or and then we could produce something, as has been done in the past by other people, a quiz which you could answer some questions and it might tell you which candidate was most in line with your views. So having that kind of thing in the run-up to the election would be absolutely fabulous if somebody would do that.
So have you had any complaints from particular politicians about their voting record?
Absolutely. Well, over the time that TheyWorkForYou's been running, it's had a lot of comments from MPs. So some MPs have got in touch just to say that they just really don't like us making their voting records so easily accessible, which is obviously saying that we're doing a great thing. We've had a couple of parliamentarians get in touch with us, and looking at the page that we've got on TheyWorkForYou, and their complaint has been, well, this doesn't reflect my views. And then I get to write quite a nice email back to them to say that, well, no, we're not reflecting your views. What we're doing is we're reflecting how you voted.